Well, welcome to RSA, and thank you for coming out, and thank you to all of our executive board officers who showed up tonight. We're currently streaming this live on YouTube, just like a heads up. So if you're not comfortable with your face on camera, you can turn your camera off. But we're going to record this for all of our prospective members, just so they have, a taste of RSA. And we're going to go sort of top to bottom through our agenda, get to know each other a little bit. We already kind of have started. Talk about RSA, tracks to get involved with our organization, and then have a chance to continue to meet our executive board. So that's basically the agenda for the day. If you're able, you can do this, now, or you can do this after. We have an info form, which is basically just like getting signed up on our mailing list. It's a one-time email list. We're just going to send you a recap of the entire meeting today, which will probably be helpful. So if you want to fill that out now, or I'll paste the link in the chat afterwards, you can do that. But once again, thank you for joining. I want to start with a fun little icebreaker and poll EV, just to get to know everyone that's on the call today. So if you're able to go to the website that's on the screen right now, pollev.com/RyanBile or rbile887. You can put in your name and major, just so we can all see what we're studying here at ED.
I just instinctively started typing in bit.ly. This is really
It's funny how that works.
Says something about tiny URLs marketing department. No. Okay.
And maybe for our executive board officers, if you want to type in your position too on RSA, that'd be cool.
Oh, I forgot to do that. I'm VP though.
Hey Ryan, you know that to submit a response, we have to submit our name, right?
Yes.
And then we
so
have
you
to
do
put our
your
name in again.
name can go in the one, and then there's a box for name and major.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, it collects your name ahead of time. Oh, so sure, you're a neuroscience major.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sorry. About double majoring, not sure yet.
I hear the communication program is pretty good at UD.
Actually, yes. I swear to God. Yes, I am a double major in communication, but I am not putting pressure on you to join comm. What do you think you want to double major in?
I thought about psycho-bio. I also was considering a minor in public health because I'm just interested in that. And I do want to go to med school eventually, so I guess kind of makes sense as to our major and stuff. But yeah, not sure what I'm gonna do.
Very cool. No, all of those are really good compliments to neuroscience, I feel. So yeah, I think whenever you figure it out, it'll be a good match. So.
And you have a great Munson fellow to guide you along the way. So.
I swear to God. Ryan, don't gas me up. My ego is already this high.
But yeah, so it's nice to see everybody, and you can kind of see everyone's majors. Connor is our actuarial science major. I think Abby's our other neuroscience person. I'm studying finance and MIS, and then Victoria is our American history buff. You can see their positions there. And then for the next one, I want to get a sense. It always takes forever to transition slides. But I want to get a sense for where everyone is from. So if the slide will change, I will be able to.
Love how no one noticed that communications got auto-corrected to
change to communism. Yeah, that was funny. So if you now go to the URL, it should pull up a map of the US. And if you're not in the US right now, you can put yourself in I don't know, Alaska.
Okay, yeah.
You can zoom in and pop yourself on the map wherever you are. Looks like most of us are in the Northeast right now.
I clicked it twice accidentally because I thought it was just gonna highlight the state and not drop a pin. I'm from Lansdale, Collegeville area.
No way.
You have a brother that graduated from Ithacian, don't you?
Yes, Steven. This is wild.
What?
Okay.
Samantha Haas?
Yeah, Sam Haas. Yeah.
Samantha
This
Haas?
is
Yeah,
crazy.
she's like one of my close friends.
Oh my
Sam
goodness.
Haas was my resident last year, and she is also a honors community fellow for this year. So she is like kind of like a Munson, but like for upperclassmen honors students. So she does programming for them. Oh my gosh! And we have the same neuropharmacology class together.
Crazy.
I'm
I
an
like
expert.
recognized your last name, Ryan, but then I wasn't sure if I should ask or not. And then but I do remember like Sam telling me like for housing and stuff. So she was like asking me about something, and she was like if we wanted to like room together. And she was like, yeah, like Steven's older brother has this place and like whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I didn't know Steven had an older brother. She said, yeah, he goes to UT, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was like trying to connect the dots, but I wasn't sure if
I don't mean to one up you, Abby, but Sam Haas was only my neighbor for like basically half of my life and best friend to my brother, but that's fine.
No, I got you.
You knew her for 1 year.
This is not a competition, but I'm very lucky to know Sam Haas. So I'm just excited whenever somebody else knows her.
Shree, you must have gone to what, PV or
I went to Methacton.
You went to Methacton?
Yeah, I had classes with Steven and Sam.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. I didn't get like a list of like all the Methacton people because you guys are like so far away from me. Like I don't know you guys. But yeah, that's awesome. Welcome to UD. This is amazing.
Small world.
It's a very small world. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to talk after. I want to hear about your senior year. It must have been wild.
I went to Manville High School.
Yeah, Victoria, I'm feeling pretty left out. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I went to Manville High School in Manville, Texas. My neighbors were the Jeffries. I met them like twice. Everything. I know we're all just so similar. Such a small world. Y'all probably know.
I mean, I'm from Murdertown, USA. That's where I'm from, Wilmington. So it's always a fun time.
I'm not in Collegeville right now. I'm in Newark. I'm the only one on the executive board that's in Newark. But yeah, so happy to be there and happy to be so close to home if I have to get back. But great to meet you guys. Like this is awesome. We can all talk later after the presentation once we get through it. But we have one more icebreaker that Abby's going to do with us. We'll zoom around the room. I kept it in. So for some reason, it's like not changing slides on the.
I have a room to zoom around. Yay.
So there you go. I yield to Abby.
Oh, yay. Okay. I have been yielded to. This is interesting. I'm sorry. Anyway, my name is Abigna. You all know that already. So I'm serving as the RSA vice president this year. And we're going to play a really fun game called Zoom Around the Room that I stole from Kelly Clarkson when she moved her show online after COVID.
You know her too?
What was that?
I said, do you know her too?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually her resident when she was a Munson fellow.
She was actually my neighbor.
Oh my gosh, and her kids are friends with my sister. It's just great.
I feel like she's from Texas, so I actually have more in common with her than any of you. So just put that out there.
That's a fair point.
I've never felt so disconnected from my executive board.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, we need to play Zoom Around the Room because it's a really fun game, but made by Kelly Clarkson, who we are all friends with. So I want everyone to take 30 seconds, zoom around whatever room you're in right now and find something in your space that is blue and gold because that is UD's colors. And if you don't have like one thing that's blue and gold, find something that's blue and something that's gold and bring both of them back and be as creative as you can. Victoria, you can't go yet. The time hasn't started. So I can keep the time on my phone. And then once the time is up, we'll come back together and share what we found. So that's the game. Hopefully it'll get you running around. Awesome. So I'm gonna start the timer.
The anticipation is killing me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it on 30 minutes, not 30 seconds. And I didn't want that. What? Amy's here? Oh! My goodness. Okay.
This just gets more crazy as the time goes on.
Amy L. Bowen. Oh my God.
Would you like to join Cav?
Oh my God.
Okay.
So much, please.
This is actually a perfect time for you to come. So Abby's doing a Zoom around the room with us, so you can participate.
Amy loves this game. So we're zooming around whatever room you're in and finding something blue and gold in 30 seconds. Cool? Okay, ready, set, go. I should play Jeopardy music. Let's see if I can find that.
This meeting. Oh my gosh.
Okay, everybody's back. So that was only 20 seconds. So you guys are rocking it. Okay, welcome back. So now I kind of just want to know like what everybody grabbed from their room and what were you able to find that was blue and gold. So Shri, I would love if you could go first since you are our guest here tonight, and then we can just circle around.
Yeah, sure. The first thing I found was like this lotion that I have, blue, and this bracelet that's gold. I also do have a flag on my wall, which I just thought of now that I could have grabbed that. But yeah.
Yep. No, we love the creativity. That is awesome. Okay, Amy, what did you find?
I found a bracelet that I've been working on. It's a heart bracelet that I made out of string, and it's blue and gold for UD colors.
Is that rainbow loom? Is that the thing that?
No, rainbow loom is more like rubber bands. This
right.
is string.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
You make knots.
I love it. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, who else wants to go? Any hands? I don't see any. Okay, Ryan, go.
So as I was saying, I'm on campus in my townhouse, and they put on the what was it? The Instagram for UD that they were giving out like all these masks and stuff at like designated places across campus. So I decided to like be a freshman. I'm a senior, but I decided to be a freshman and like walk around with like a lanyard and like a bag and like get some swag. And I got this really cool mask that they were giving away, and all the resident students got them. And it's actually really cool. It has like the logo and like a bunch of like hens on it, and it has like a nose cover that like it like goes up high, which is kind of nice. And there's a place for a little filter too. So that's my blue and gold thing. Mask up, protect the flock, all that stuff.
Awesome.
Very cool.
You want a popcorn to someone?
Oh yeah, I will popcorn to Victoria.
Okay, so this is my Lily Pulitzer tote. It is gold. Within it, like a little nesting doll, we have my gold Lily Pulitzer wristlet. And so, yeah, that's my gold thing. And then for my blue thing, I have my laundry bag, which has this outside thing for attaching, you know, the liquid. Someone help.
Laundry detergent.
Thank you. And it's also a backpack. It's so nifty. Yes, it was from Target. Yes, it was like $5. But it's like one of the best things I've ever purchased. Highly recommend. Go get yourself one. 30-second spot is over. And I will popcorn to Connor.
Okay, so you're gonna have to go on a journey with me for this one. So my high school colors was also blue and gold. So I grabbed a drink cozy that says "Take hold and never let go," which is the school's motto was "Take hold and never let go." And I got this from working the alumni thing that I was at. So all the old guys had their beers in this, and I took one. So that's my story. That's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming.
Yay! Thank you all for humoring me and playing my silly little game. I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you had fun. I definitely did too, even though I stayed here and just kept time. But it was fun watching you all run around. Cool. I yield the floor back to Ryan.
Thank you so much, Abby. This was so much fun. I love Zoom around the room. It's a good time. All right, with that said, we're gonna move into some of the fun, like informational stuff about RSA, so you guys can get to know our organization a little bit. So can anyone tell me what RSA stands for? I don't know, maybe a former member of the executive board who showed up today?
I'm really lost, Ryan. I don't know.
Amy, maybe?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got picked on. So the RSA, I think it stands for the Resident Student Association.
It stands for the Resident Student Association. You're right. We are one of the largest and oldest continually operating government organizations on UD's campus. We were founded way back in 1972, which means that we are turning 50 in a couple years, which is kind of wild. We're looking pretty good for 50, not gonna lie. But yeah, so we have a long history of serving students on our campus. And as an organization, we aim to cultivate an inclusive, engaging, diverse, and valuable residence hall and campus experience for all of our students, which is our mission. Sort of underpinning that is our vision as an organization, which is to ensure that all students can find a home when they're on UD's campus, particularly in the residential spaces. And we do this through supporting students' programming and advocacy initiatives, which Victoria is going to talk about.
I am. Hi. So our two main values, our two main pillars are programming and advocacy. And as we established our last involvement fair meeting, I can talk forever about these, but I won't. I will keep it concise. So programming, we have a lot of money for programming. As you can see, we have a $20,000 annual budget. Not to toot our own horn, but it's a lot more than any other organization on campus. And so programming is going to be like the pictures that you see there. We did Resapalooza, which is our big end of year event that last year Connor coordinated, and the year before we had Natalie coordinate. And so that's just where we rent out the green, and we have like inflatable slides and obstacle courses, and we get Pepsi to sponsor us and everything. And we had ice cream. It's just a big fun, like if you went to field day in middle school, that's basically what it's like. It's just crazy. And so that's like our bigger programming stuff. But then also we do a lot of smaller programming stuff. That's going to be within the community advocacy boards, which we will explain more later. But the cabs work within the residence halls and do stuff like movie nights and pizza nights and pancake socials and potlucks and stuff. So just like all the little things where you're just building a sense of community, hanging out in a safe area for a night and just being social. Yeah, so that's programming. And yeah, so as it says, take place in residence halls and in common areas, and now over Zoom. So yeah, then on the other side of that, we have advocacy, which is leading positive change. And Ryan led the advocacy side of things for 2 years and did some crazy huge advocacy initiatives. So this year, instead of it being called the Advocacy Committee, it's going to be the Campus Development Committee. And so that's going to be more focused towards our off-campus students, but everyone is free to join. And so that's going to be, advocacy is going to be just anything that's not like a set program. And when we're back on campus, that would be like getting fancy hand soaps in the bathrooms. Abigna did a really cool advocacy initiative when she was president of Reading. She got whiteboards in the study lounges. And so it's just more passive things like that. Again, we have several $1,000s in that budget. And so obviously this is all going to look very different in a virtual setting, but these both still exist and are functioning and everything. And so it's a great way to kind of get that experience of project management and leading a team and seeing a project carried out from beginning to end. And yeah, as the daughter of a project manager, I love giving this spiel and pushing people into that, into those specialties. So yeah, that is programming and advocacy.
Awesome. Thank you, Victoria. So as Victoria said, right, so our two kind of like vehicles that we use to have an impact on our campus are programming and advocacy. So naturally, everything that we do as an organization kind of rolls up to those two main values and those two main functions of our organization. So with that knowledge of what our organization does and our impact on campus, how do you get involved? So there are 2 tracks to getting involved with RSA this year, particularly this semester. So for our on-campus students, we have a program called the Community Advocacy Board Program. For those of you who were on campus in the past, community councils in the past are now community advocacy boards. And for all other students who are living off campus or are living back home or virtually, learning this semester, we have the Campus Development Committee, which, as Victoria alluded to, used to be our advocacy committee in the past. So we're going to kind of dive into these a little bit and go into specifics. So if you're living in a residence hall this year, every residence hall on campus will have a community advocacy board, which is basically a representative body that represents the wants and needs of students living in your residence hall. Every community advocacy board has kind of like a mini e-board that listens to students' feedback and sort of translates that feedback into advocacy and change and improvements in the student's residence hall environment. So there's 3 positions. You can run for president, VP of advocacy, and VP of operations. We're going to do a deep dive into all these positions later in the presentation, but overall the general arching theme and goals of these organizations in the residence halls is to lead positive change, amplify student voices, and share resources. So it's collaborative. As I said, every single residence hall on our campus has a community advocacy board. So you'll all be doing the same thing. Shri, it looks like you're living off campus, back home. It doesn't look like a residence hall that I know with pink walls.
Yeah, at home.
You're back home. And Amy, you're in Newark, right? You're in Newark, awesome. So for you guys, our sort of predominant track that you want to get involved with, at least for the time being, is our Campus Development Committee. So the CDC is going to be meeting bi-weekly, and it's led by our Director of Advocacy and our Director of Programming. So basically the Campus Development Committee is a community advocacy board for the campus at large. So instead of advocating for change in your residential community, you're advocating for change on the campus-wide scale. In the past, we've done initiatives to reform dining services and improve accessibility to residential spaces. This year, we have a number of initiatives that our Director of Advocacy, Cyan, and our Director of Programming, Roxana, are planning on working on. And we have those listed there. So if you're interested in any one of those areas, this link up here, the bit.ly, is the same as the attendance link that we had at the beginning. If you click that link, provide all of your information, we'll send you a full recap and a full explanation of how you can get involved with the Campus Development Committee, which I think for Shri and Amy, that's probably going to be where you guys want to get involved with RSA through those vehicles. Yeah, any questions just while we're on this slide about CDC in particular? No? Cool. I think that was a pretty comprehensive overview, but all right. For our students who might be joining us on YouTube right now or might be watching this at a later point in time, if you're interested in running for a community advocacy board and you're living in a residence hall right now, we have the timeline for elections provided here and a list of candidate resources that you can access. This presentation will be posted to our website at sites.udel.edu/RSA, so you can access it at all times. But basically, the to-dos for after this week are to select which position you're running for. In the middle of next week, the candidate materials need to be submitted, and then voting starts towards the end of next week. So that's a little bit about the CAB timeline and resources. I want to dive into some of the positions we talked. There's president, vice president of advocacy, and vice president of operations. So if you're a student who has leadership experience, or even if you haven't led a team before and you want to gain experience leading teams, running for president is probably the best position that you could possibly go for. As president, you basically get to set the tone and the agenda for what your community advocacy board does over the course of the year. So we're looking for students who have really strong communication skills, students who are interested in collecting feedback from students and leading positive change in their residence halls, and who are very organized. There are some responsibilities that kind of come with that, naturally being president. So you'll have to plan all of the agendas for your bi-weekly CAB meetings, conduct one-on-ones with some of your board members, and meet frequently with your advisor just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And then you'll basically work with your other officers, your VP of operations and your VP of advocacy, to kind of lead the charge for your programming and advocacy initiatives in your hall. Probably the like biggest thing on this list though is attending RSA's General Assembly meetings. As the president of your community advocacy board, you are the like main representative of your residence hall. So we want you guys out at our GA meetings as much as you possibly can. So that is the like predominant responsibility, and our meetings are going to be bi-weekly on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. this year. Going on to the VP of Advocacy role, I will yield to Abby.
Hi, I'm Abigna. It's nice to meet you. So a little bit about the VP of Advocacy. VPs of Advocacy are essentially like the voice for the needs of the community. So if you were elected for this role, you would be responsible for collecting input from members of your communities and forming advocacy initiatives with your board to work through some of the student concerns that might have come up. And in doing so, and by finding creative solutions to those issues, you would, your goal would be to enhance their college experience. And then the other part of it is you would get to be a part of the Campus Development Committee, or CDC, like we said before, run by Cyan, our Director of Advocacy, and you would get to collaborate with all the other VPs of Advocacy of other CABs to develop projects that will spread positive change throughout the UD community. And like we mentioned before, there was, and what you see on the screen, there's a dining survey that was implemented 2 years ago and brought about a lot of improvements to the dining plans that were set up at the time. And so that's pretty much exactly what the VP of Advocacy would do on a large scale by being a part of the CDC, and in a smaller scale as well for their resident communities. On the next slide, the VP of Operations position is laid out. So this is essentially a marriage between finance and marketing. So if you're in this role, you would be working with your CAB advisor to manage your CAB's budget and make sure that your CAB members are reimbursed for any events that they organize. And you would also be managing initiatives and making sure that the projects that your CAB develops are well organized, and you would be responsible for developing marketing materials like social media posts and the like for the programming and advocacy projects that you all put together. So that is essentially the VP of Operations. Cool, I yield. You're muted.
My microphone was off, naturally, the quote of the year. But yeah, so that's kind of a recap of all three of the positions that we're offering for our CAB program, which, as we've sort of talked about, is in every single residence hall on campus. So for you resident students out there, if you're looking for like, low time commitment, like way to get involved on campus, that's going to last your whole college career. All of us got involved with CABs as like the primary way that we got involved with RSA. And we've all emerged like more successful like leaders as a result. So definitely reach out to your RHC or contact RSA if you're interested in joining. From here, I just want to give like all of our executive board officers a chance to like introduce themselves. We can kind of just like continue talking like we were before, very, very low key. But for those of us who are here, if we do want to go through and just give like a formal like, hi, my name is blank, major, where you're from, class rank, like senior, junior, and then maybe a fun fact. So I can start. I'm president of RSA. Woohoo. My name is Ryan Bile. I'm a senior from Collegeville, Pennsylvania, studying finance and MIS. And a fun fact about me, I'm like running out of fun facts. That could be my fun fact. I can run a sub 19-minute 5K. Go to Abby, even though all of us know her.
Hi, I'm Abigna. It's nice to meet you for the first time ever. I'm Vice President of RSA. I'm a junior majoring in neuroscience and communication with a minor in public health. I feel like I've said that so many times over this past summer. But yeah, I'm from Morris Plains, New Jersey. And a fun fact about me is that I really love movies, and I watched like 50 movies over the course of the summer with my family because we marathoned basically everything under the sun, and we're gonna keep going into the year as well. So yeah, big movie buff.
continue on in gavel order. So Victoria.
Hi. Okay. So yeah. So well, we kind of missed it, but TJ, Cyan, and Roxana are the other three. TJ plays 4 instruments. I'm totally blanking on Cyan's normal. Fun fact: Roxana likes Oreos. Does anyone remember Cyan's normal fun fact?
It was her what she orders at Dunkin'. It was like the double caramel. Yeah, it was yeah, she orders a really fancy drink every time she goes to Dunkin'. I believe it was Dunkin' and not Starbucks. I know that's like a full like that's a whole other story. But yeah, that's Cyan. She loves coffee.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm Victoria. I'm the director of digital marketing and communications. So like a solid 80% of our website and social media is done by me. The other is done by Ryan, voluntarily for whatever reason. I'm technically by hours a junior, but I'm going into my 3rd and final year. It's a weird situation. And then I'm a double major in American history and criminal justice. Yeah, so I'm on this board. I'm the number 3 editor at the Review, the student newspaper. Then I'm also in the National Residence Hall Honorary, our sister organization. I was on their board last year. And then I'm in the the National Society for Collegiate Scholars, and I just got named to the Biden Institute Student Advisory Council. Yeah, that's a fun fact. Yeah, I'm way too involved. But yeah, and then Griffin is our Director of Community Engagement. Yeah, he was my successor from my position last year. He did swim and soccer in high school. Yes, that is Griffin. Okay. And now passing off to Connor.
Hello, everyone. I am Connor. I am a junior actuarial sciences major. I am from Wilmington, Delaware, and my fun fact is I started recently playing disc golf as a serious sport. And then lastly, we have Nick. Now, this was the first time I got to introduce myself, like for this PowerPoint ever, so I don't know Nick's fun fact. But he's our national communications coordinator, which means he gets in contact with Concur for us, our national affiliated organization that we're a part of. And as you can see, he's a junior poli-sci and history major.
Awesome. Thank you guys for doing intros for the people who weren't here. That like completely slipped my mind. But yeah, thank you guys. Linked in the slides here are, it's a link to our office hours. So Sri and Amy, when you guys get the email with the recap from the meeting today, you guys will be able to access our office hours. We host office hours every week. So if you have any questions about your experience at UD, for our students who are on campus and living in residence halls, if you have questions about your residential experience or want to get involved with RSA, we're here to support you guys. So those are posted there. Finally, before we wrap up, we're doing a social media swag giveaway. So if you follow us on some of our social media platforms and you participate in our CAB and or CDC programs this year, we will get you swag and set it aside for you. If you're an on-campus student, I'm working on a process to get you guys swag like in the residence halls. And then if you're an off-campus student, if you return to campus in the spring, or Amy, if you're on campus now, I think you probably have enough RSA swag, but we probably owe you a hat or a tumbler. So yeah, well, I can make sure to get that to you. You probably also have a key to the RSA office still, so you could steal it. You actually can't because your name's not on the access list, but that's that. Long story short, follow us on social media. We're a really great time. And we've been posting a lot over the past couple weeks, so follow us up. If you have any questions, like we'll stay on probably for a while to just talk because everyone knows each other supposedly. But if you aren't able to get your questions answered or you're looking for more information, you can always go to our website. Victoria and I did a complete overhaul of all of the pages, so it is like in tip-top shape. There's plenty of information. It's super accessible. So hop on there if you so choose. But yeah, any questions from our lovely guest tonight? Guests, plural? No? Awesome.
No, I'm good. Answered
Well, thank you guys for coming.